I'm Scott Cohen, and I am honored to be the president of the board of trustees of Gann Academy. Students, if I'm not looking at you, I'm talking to you, okay? So first of all, this room is packed with people who are proud of you, who love you, who are here to celebrate with you, and who may be, as you've noticed, a bit emotional today because they understand more than anyone that this is the end of one era and the beginning of another. So this day is for you and about you, but before we celebrate your accomplishments and give you your diplomas, there are a few people that we need to acknowledge and thank, as this week's Parsha makes very clear. So in this week's Parsha, we have the very famous moment in the desert when the Israelites complain to Moses that they have no meat. So they've just been freed from 430 years of slavery. They've seen miracle after miracle. All of their needs have been accounted for, and still they're complaining because they missed the fish and the meat back in Egypt. As one of the students up on stage told me, it's no coincidence that the Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, actually could be called the book of kvetching. So students were wired in a fascinating way. As Rabbi Jonathan Sachs has written, our minds will easily and naturally focus on that which we don't have. So it actually takes effort for us to think about the blessings we do have and to be thankful for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, and to the many other players who played a critical role in your success at Gann. So I have four groups of people that I'm looking to thank. First, I'd like to ask the teachers, faculty, staff, administration, and senior leadership team of Gann to please rise. But please stay standing for a moment, and Rabbi Baker, since you were here for 3/4 of these years, I'd like you to also stand. Jennifer Weinstock, wherever you are, please rise. Stay standing for just a moment. Students, I want you to look around at this group of people, this extraordinary group of people who has spent the last 4 years with one thing in mind, and that is your success. The teachers standing have learned with you, they've learned from you, they've laughed with you, they've frustrated you, they've tested you, they've pushed you. They went home worrying about you. They struggled over how to reach you. They counseled each other on how best to support you. They learned from one another as they nurtured you, and they often stayed awake at night long after you'd gone to bed, ensuring that the next day will bring you closer to this day. They coached your teams. They staffed your Shabbatons. They reveled in your arts. They jammed with you. They dined with you. They were dazzled by your robots. They starred in your musicals. They traveled to Israel with you, and to Expo Weeks, and to field studies and competitions. You know their dedication went far beyond just the classroom or the front office. They spent the last 4 years working with one thing in mind, and that's your success. The teachers have partnered with administrators and staff who I'm sure you recognize standing, but may not fully appreciate for the work that they put in over the last 4 years. But you will, at a moment in college or in Israel, or in a moment when you hear of another student somewhere else in the country, and you realize how surprisingly prepared you are, and when you kind of say to yourself, wow, I can't believe how amazing Gann was. When you have that moment, and you will have that moment, even the most jaded of you, when you have that moment, I want you to think of this group and how they spent the last 4 years working with one thing in mind, and that's your success. Please join me in thanking those standing. Thank you. Second, I'd like to ask members of Gann's Board of Trustees to please stand, and former trustees as well. It's a small group. Student, you may not even recognize. Thank you. I was going to say, students, you may not even recognize some of the people that are standing, but I can assure you, every spare moment when they haven't been with their families or at the place of work, they've been working on behalf of you and Gann Academy. They've been working to ensure the stability of this incredible institution, partnering with the school's leadership, and pushing Gann to fulfill its mission to educate, to inspire, and to empower intellectually confident, passionately engaged, ethically responsible Jews. The board is here to celebrate with you and your families today, so I'd like to thank them for everything they do and have done and will continue to do for Gann Academy. All right, third, students, and I'm almost done. Dr. Katz has acknowledged that your former head of school and your future head of school are in the room, but I want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank Dr. Katz. our extraordinary interim head of school, who so beautifully and carefully and deftly kind of stewarded this transition for GAN. He brought fresh perspective and new insight, including the places you're sitting right now, to GAN, all without forgetting GAN's mission, its vision, its place in our community, and its place in history. So please join me in thanking Dr. Katz. And finally, students, there's one more group we need to thank and acknowledge, and for that, I'd like you to look for your family in the audience here. Students, I don't know what to say about this group. I was like waving. Hi. This incredible community. Until you have kids, you will not fully appreciate the commitment, the dedication, the sacrifice, the schlepping, the worrying, and the love, the labor of love that brought you to this day, this moment, and this celebration. May you always be as thankful as we have just been to your teachers, to your family, to your friends, to those who labor behind the scenes without your knowledge on your behalf. And may you take on your next challenge, your next opportunity, your next era with passion, with energy, with ethics, with Torah, with your own unique Jewish voice, and with thankfulness and love of our people. Mazal tov.